Hello and welcome back to another Try&Fly. It's kind of a Try&Fly revisited, but not 100% because I have already done some time ago a Try&Fly of the leading edge simulation SAP 340. But what I never did is a Try&Fly of the cargo version. I always used and looked at the passenger version. When you buy the leading edge simulation SAP 340 from SAP Fairchild 340, I think is the more accurate name, SF340, from X-Aviation, you get actually two models. One is the passenger and one is the cargo version. And since I am kind of more interested in cargo flying, I thought, why the hell did I not install the cargo version? I only had the passenger installed. So I got myself the latest release, which is version 1.5.1, which had come out a couple of weeks ago or so. So that's the latest release of the SAP. I installed that because I was still on an old version, and I also installed the cargo. And then I had to set up everything also for the Honeycomb Yoke because I hadn't flown the aircraft for a very long time. So my profiles were all still on the Saitek hardware. And yeah, it took me some time also to get my GoFlight hardware going. I had to do some tricksy things in order to get things working the way I needed. But after some work, yeah, I think I am ready to give this a spin and do my usual Try&Fly round. Now, there is another SAP available in X-Plane, and that's the Coronado one. From the modeling, I would think that these two definitely are both pretty good. Although quite honestly, I think that the leading edge, the one here, is actually the better, and I think, judging by the pictures that I've seen and so on, probably the more realistic. The Coronado isn't bad, but I think the leading edge simulation SAP is a far more realistic modeling from the cockpit, also from the outside. Which doesn't mean that the Coronado is bad. No, it's the usual good Coronado job that they did. But what is definitely the case is that this here is the more accurate system implementation and so on. Whereas usually in the Coronado they kind of do compromises and they do kind of simplifications. Yeah. One thing that you can do in the Coronado is you can add the GTN, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if I can use the GTN 750 here on this aircraft? So I snooped around in the internet, and what did I find? Hey, there is an action integration, and it's actually not that difficult. It's actually just an ini file that you have to put in the aircraft folder to get then your GTN, which isn't run up yet, into the GPS window. It's not perfect, but it's actually pretty good because by right-clicking you can always bring up the 2D window, and by right-clicking it again it will disappear again. As soon as we have electricity, which we haven't got yet, you will see that the GTN 750 from Reality XP, it's a payware, actually shows up and can be used for navigation. That actually adds a lot to this aircraft. I mean, normally you do get the standard Garmin from X-Plane. It's not bad. In X-Plane 11, the Garmin has actually improved drastically compared to X-Plane 10 and older. So it's not the worst option to have, but the GTN is, yeah, it's a bit more elaborate, and it gives you more options. Right, so, yeah. This is, I think it is a really beautiful cockpit. There's no doubt about that. I really, really like the implementation, the modeling, and so on. Here in the cockpit, it's, I think, superb. Also, having the little dirt places, and, you know, it's not the newest kit on the block, so it has some wear and tear here and there, and I think they did a really good modeling. Then there are other areas such as here where you can see that the developers have, how should I put it? Yeah, you're not always looking at this, so they went a bit more easier approach by not having really high definition modeling here. I mean, that also helps with keeping the frames high, obviously, because the less rendering job the graphic card has to do with all this here, the better. But I think when it comes to where you usually look in the cockpit, everything is really great. I think it's great. I really like it. Because we're in a cargo plane, they actually have modeled, although a little bit simplified here as well. As you can see, for example, there's no hole here. The door is open, but there's no hole from the inside. You can see something from the outside, but not from inside. You have all these things standing around, and here's the door. Yeah. Let me quickly show you. So you can see here the door, the hole can be seen from outside, but it cannot be seen from the inside. It's a bit strange, but well. It's not that important. I'm usually not in the back of the cargo hold. So there are a number of objects that can be placed. There's a menu. So if you have not seen this aircraft before, there are actually a huge number of menus. There's also a possibility to call them up from here. Okay, so there are a number of things that you can call, for example, the ground services. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually place the GPU, which is a bit strangely put under the wing. Yeah, maybe one could put it somewhere else, because that's a little bit awkward, I would think, for starting up the aircraft with the GPU. But, well, there you go. That's where they put it. And then you have all these other things here. Nose gear, locking pin, left main gear, and so on and so forth. All of these, except the GPU, can be removed in one go by clicking remove all items. Okay. They do have interactive code, sort of checklists, or interactivity. We'll see in a moment how that looks. This thing here, by the way, helps you with all the levers. So there's the throttle levers, and it shows you actually in what mode. So here we are in flight idle mode. Now we're in ground idle mode, and this is basically then the full range. And I have adjusted the response curve to have the 0 position of my throttle. I have a detent that I can open. So I have it at ground idle. And unlike the Fokker 50, for example, from Coronado, when in flight, the throttles will not go below flight idle. They will prevent you from going into beta or any crap like that. I wish Coronado would have done the same, but they haven't. So absolutely no problem to bring the throttle levers fully back. It will not harm you during flight. Nothing will happen during flight. And the other thing is it's actually the prop levers. So you have to program the axis as prop levers, but they are in fact doing the fuel. And then they kind of become the prop levers. So they are a mix of both. They are the fuel cut, fuel off stuff, the condition basically, and the prop setting. So that's why you have to use the propeller, not the mixture axis for this one. Right, that window is handy to have. I actually found a command to open it with a switch. Sometimes you need it. What I didn't find is a command to open the checklists for. Would be easier if they would have put that in. Or now that's the auto start. Yeah, there's an auto start option, but I'm actually looking for. Oh, so there's user preferences. You can actually get pop-ups when you change heading and things like that. but yeah, I don't really need this. And I set the scroll wheel to be zoom, because if you don't have that on, it will actually not zoom with the scroll wheel, and that is irritating because I use the scroll wheel to zoom into areas in the cockpit and so on. So I turned the scroll wheel manipulator for the knobs off, which would be available otherwise. Both together don't seem to work. I tried and it didn't really work. Yeah, these are predefined views. I have my own, but there's another way of getting around the cockpit. And this is the virtual checklist. This is the so-called checklist selector. You can see all the available checklists, starting with the preparatory checks. And I kind of keep this window down here in order to use it when I need it. So let's go back into the cockpit. Yeah, I guess what we can do now is we could go through the preparatory checks. And the good thing about this checklist is when you press the view button, it will actually move to the position where these switches, knobs, or whatever it is that you need to check are. Okay, so all the external lights are off. Yes, then comes the gear handle. It is actually down. Yes. You can tick this. It's no automatic thing. It will not do anything automatic here. You have to do it yourself. But it will support you by moving your view into the correct position. The radar transponder is standby. Yep. The batteries, they are supposed to be on. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit hard. Okay, so the batteries are on. And checked the external power. We're going to activate now. What you hear is actually the hydraulic pump, this me thingy. That's the hydraulic pump. The switch for it is down here. So the external power is on. Interestingly, you can't really hear the external power from inside the cockpit. Okay, then the avionics. We're supposed to turn them on. The emergency safety equipment. Okay, that's something that is just statics. Documents is also statics. Side panels, oxygen. Yeah, make sure that you pull this in order to activate the oxygen. Then the overhead panel. I'm not sure what to check there. Yeah, there's just say check. All right. Well, I've done so. And then the pedestal, you're supposed to check as well. I usually just make sure that all the levers are in the correct position, and yeah, so basically, and that all the radios are on and so forth. And then the tests, this is actually not working. This is not coded. All these test buttons are fake. So not everything that you see is actually active and coded. Next checklist would be the walkaround that you can do. So I start with position 1, which is just beside the aircraft, and this can be quite lengthy. So entrance and doors, access doors, the pitot tubes. Indeed, what we should do now is we should actually go and call up the ground support equipment, and I'm going to remove now all of that stuff. Okay, so pitot tubes are tested and free. Angle of attack sensor. There's nothing that you can do. You can just look at it. Windshields are fine. The wipers are fine. The OAT probe. Is that there? Possibly. Then the radome. Yeah. Oxygen gas indicator. That's probably down here. It's supposed to be green. Antennas. Just check that they're not kaput. Emergency door is nicely locked. Then we come to the nose gear. The nose gear is looking fine. The downlock pin is out, which is dangerous if it remove. Why does it remove it? Really? Pin, downlock pin remove. That's weird. Uplock roller and pad. Tire condition is fine. Gear doors are fine. Taxi light. Yeah, actually we could quickly turn it on and check if it is on. Yeah, it's hard to see, but it did actually work. And then back to the other pitot tube, which is free and fine. Then next comes the windows. Well, there are no windows in this case. Emergency door. Do we not have that already? Fairings, fine. The landing light. Yeah, we can actually turn the landing light on. Yep. Then comes the de-ice boots. The fuel drain down here. It's nothing you can really do with it. And then the antennas. Okay, next. And so on and so forth. To be honest, I'm not going to go through all of them, just to give you an idea of how that looks. So you can always go to the checklist selector, and then why don't we go then to the final, let's go to position 13. So that's the windows, the emergency door, the fairing here, the landing light. Yeah. The de-ice boot and the fuel drain. Next checklist is then the Walkaround internal. So we check that the first aid kit is there. Emergency exit door is nicely locked. The life vests are there. Yeah. Then the emergency flashlight is there. Port, normally you would also check if it's charged and all that. A little green light or something. Port oxygen pressure. You can't really check this. The smoke mask is somewhere in there, I guess. Fire extinguishers. Yeah, that looks more like positions in the normal cabin. And we're finally through, and we are in the before engine start. So we are now basically ready for engine start. But before we do that, we're actually going to quickly go through and we set up the flight plan. So from Munich, we're going to leave on our usual way via Anchor 9 Quebec. We load that departure route. Then we are at a waypoint, which is Akini. Then we add a waypoint called Ostis. And then we add a waypoint called EDDM. And for that, we load a procedure, the arrival procedure, which is the BAMTA for Alpha, for runway 08. We load the arrival. And we call upload procedure. We are going to go for the ILS 08 left. And we're not going to use vectors, we're going to use the mic transition. And we load that approach as well. We don't activate it yet because we are not on the approach yet. So this is the standard route that we always fly with Try&Fly from Munich. And what we can do is now we can quickly do this a little bit. Let me see. I think I'm going to bring down the... I'm going to turn off topo and bring down the clutter a bit. I think I need to bring it down a bit further. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, because it shows us the route, which is currently the more important piece. Unfortunately, when you do that, you lose actually the airport graphics, but I know Munich Airport anyway, so I prefer to have a better view of the whole thing. You can always use right-click to bring it out as a window. Okay. Again, this is a payware, so you must have the payware here. But it's a very simple integration. If you have that plugin for Reality XP running, there's an INI file. And and you can set up the INI file. There's something on the forum, explain.org, about that. And here you go. It's very simple to get it integrated. Right. So that's our route. Looking pretty good. And we do not have weather radar, I think, with this. Maybe I'm wrong, but oh yes, we do actually. But the weather is then probably on this display. This is all very simplistic. So the navigation is quite in brackets old, and for some reason not all of my GoFlight programmings do work. This is the GoFlight software is, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For some reason now the heading doesn't work. Let's see if the frequency change at least works. Yeah, so frequencies change. So it's not that it is not working, but unfortunately all the MCP part is not working. This is the, yeah, so all the switches from the MCP, they don't work for whatever reasons. Why is this a selector rotate? So let's try that. No, it does not want to work for me today. Back to the drawing board. Need to go through that again. It's a bit of a pain. It's really a pain sometimes, but what can I do? Yeah, I had this all working already. I just don't understand why it's now not working anymore. Let's see. Nope. Will not work. Pity. Okay. Well, then I have to use the mouse for the moment. Just wondering why it works and then it suddenly doesn't work. That's the kind of software that yeah, but it's not the aircraft itself. It's just another piece of software which doesn't always hold up its promises. And there has been an update actually. Who knows, maybe the update has broken something, which is actually not unlikely, because I got some weird error messages. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue here. So where were we? Let's go to the so battery is on, external power is on, the bleed valves we have to put into reset auto. Then the avionics is set, the oxygen is on. Those are all set. You can't change them anyway. I'm not doing anything on the flight recorder. Parking brake is actually set. Cabin signs, yeah, we can turn them on now. The engine instruments checked, so I think they stay like this. They're not supposed to change here. Fuel quantity is, yeah, we have half a tank. That's more than enough for where we are going. Hydraulics checked, so we have quantity. Fluid quantity is fine, is in the green. And we do have actually hydraulic pressure also on the brakes, which is fine. The cabin pressure is set. The differential is 0. That's fine. Power condition levers are in the ground idle and the fuel off position. The trims, yeah, the trims, I'm going to reset the pitch trim. And what we can do later on is that we kind of move up the trim, but it has to be in the green band. But I already realized that they may be a little bit low here, so I put it in the middle of the green band. Trim. Takeoff and data bugs checked. Yep, not quite. What I do actually is I put this to 120 because that's about the speed that you should not really go. Oh, good old crappy, yeah, explain way of doing things. Okay, 120 roughly. Okay, then the beacon light on, and the doors and so on need to be closed now. Now, the doors is a really funny thing. They have very complicated procedures to open and close cargo and other doors. It's about 6 different steps that you need to do to get your door open in the front and get the ladder out. And it's 2 steps that you need to do, commands, that you have to run exactly in the correct sequence in order to get this thing, the cargo hold, closed and locked. I did program something. Chances are it's not. Oh, it is working. Yeah, see, some things are working, some other things are not. So I've timed this a little bit. I wait 5 seconds, then I lock the door, and the same I have done for the so first it folds in the stair. You need to wait until this is finished, then it slides it in. You have to wait that this is finished, then it closes the seat. You have to wait again till that's finished, then it closes the door. You have to wait for that until it's finished, then it puts the gear lever, the lever here down. You have to wait that this is finished, and then it locks the thing, and then you're done. Normally you have to do this with 6 different commands. That means you need 6 keys to program. So I did something that runs this with the GoFlight interface tool. That it comes in a specific sequence. And if something goes wrong in that sequence, you will never get it closed, and you have to go to individual commands again. It's a bit odd, to be honest. Why couldn't they just have 1 command to open the whole thing and maybe 1 for the stairs? Don't ask me. No idea. So basically we are ready now for the engine start, and yeah, engine start can be a bit of a bummer too. I had a couple of issues with that. Hopefully we will be okay. Now let's see. How does that work? So normally we should have the external power for the initial startup. Yep. And I think I need to put the main inverter on, and the beacon is on. And then it's important that for the first engine that you want to start, you have to move the lever into the so-called start position before. You don't do that when you are starting it. You have to do it before, because if you don't, that engine will not start. The starter will not do anything. So, and if I haven't forgotten something, and it does happen almost all the time, I forget something. So let's see if I got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Just leave it there. So it has switched. I hope we haven't lost our programming now. Bummer. Really now? Really now? You serious? Well then. Let's put that into unfeathered for the moment, and then start with the second engine. Okay, I forgot. You have to put it into the start position. And now can start. 3, 4, 5. You see, it turns off. It seems that it turns off the avionics bus every time you do that. Okay, which means you should not program your GTN until you have the engines running. Well, that's a bit stupid, isn't it? Well, let's put that also into the minimum position, and now let's go through all that again. Okay, I have to remember that. With the likes of little nav map, you can actually save a flight plan for the GTN. You just need to know what the exact folder is for that, but if you do, then you can always load a preloaded flight plan. Hostess and Echo Delta Delta Mike. So we load the procedure. The arrival is the BAMTA for Alpha arrival for runway 08. Load and Munich. Load procedure. Approach ILS 08 left via Mike. Load procedure. Okay, and back. Looks like we got it. Okay, so let's not do anything that will cause us to have to do this again. So the CTOT is some kind of it's not an auto throttle, it's kind of an auto prop thingy that will keep a certain power during takeoff. There are, in the documentation, there are tables where you can do this, but I just use 100. That usually works, and I put the CTOT on. That's probably part of this checklist anyway. So, the auto Corsen, something with the props that I haven't quite understood, but you have to turn it on now. Then the bus tie, you have to make sure that it is tied. And now what we do is we actually take the generators, put them on, and for that we will probably have to bring the levers now into the max position, so that the generators will be and then we turn that off. External power is off. The generators are checked. The air conditioning we have to set, so the recirculating fans we're going to turn on. Emergency lights, put that into the nope. Armed. I love old X-plane switches. Fuel used, it's obviously quite old. This aircraft is rather old. Yeah, it's 0, it's fine. Condition levers are in the max position. The ice protection today we do not require. The only thing I turn on is the not the propeller, but the windshield. Yeah, left and right front, and the maximum. And no, sorry, the left and right side. We're not turning on the props or anything. Overhead panel checked. Whatever it is that we need to check, I think we need to reset those, if I can remember correctly. Yes. The EFIS, yep, yeah, it's what it's supposed to be, and clear signal to the right. So we are ready for taxi. So what we're going to do is there's a lamp there. We're not going to push. I think this one is a bit further away, but we do have those things there. Well. Well, I turn on the taxi lights, and quite important, let me think, I think you need to put this down. Down means you move it up. Explain. Right, so I think you need to do this down in order to activate nose wheel steering. I think it was down. If not, we'll know in a moment. And then I let go of the park brake. Actually, hang on, I haven't removed yet the external power, so we shall do this first. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to release the parking brake. And let's see, are we turning? We are turning, so I think everything is okay with the steering. I had quite a bit of trouble with that. Uh-oh. Okay. It will be all okay. It will be great. We're going to clear this this lamppost, no problem. See? Nothing happened. Okay. So brakes, yep, checked. Altimeters. 29992 is actually true because we have standard weather. The flaps, we put that into position 7. Then flight instruments and radios, yep, let me see. So the ILS we put on the 109.5. The course for that is supposed to be 080. So where do I turn this? I think here. Question is, what is it at the moment? It is 080, so I don't need to do anything frequency-wise. Otherwise, let's put it on 1 to 280, the COM1, and the transponder. Oh yeah, I love this. Yeah, 7,000. But we are still on standby. We are in Germany. Then the tests we can't do anyway. The CTOT is already set. So as I say, I put it in and around 100 and then I turn these on. And then the briefing is complete and we can taxi to the runway. So give it a bit of power and just watch out because it can get fast if you let it. Frame-wise, let me quickly check this. Well, it eats a few frames, apparently, because I limit here to 40, and we do get actually 26, 27, with very high settings, though, I have to say. Let me show you my graphics settings, so that you know. Maximum. So it's okay for that, okay? But I have other more simpler aircraft that allow you to have 40 frames here. It does eat frames a little bit, yeah. So we're only going to climb to 15,000 or flight level 150 because this is not the fastest airplane and also not the fastest climber. And in order to not have, it's no point climbing to flight level 200, because I think by the time we are at flight level 200, we already need to come down again. So I also won't go to the end of the runway. It's not necessary because this aircraft doesn't need as much runway. I go straight ahead and then get onto the runway. So let's hold here at the holding line. Okay. Park brake on. Now let's quickly go through the external lights. So we're going to turn the landing lights on, taxi lights off, strobe comes on. Then the takeoff signal green given, yeah, is given. Air conditioning is set. You probably check also depending on temperature outside. So transponder we put into the alt. The flight controls are checked. Oh, don't tell me I've lost it again. What is this? Oh no, oh come on. When did that happen? Oh. I mean, this is stupid. I can't program that flippin' thing all the time. What the heck is going on? Control CVP. What was that? Oh, is that the gust lock? I don't know, to be honest. Let's see. What is CVP? Oh, that's this thing. Okay. To take off, inhibit, push. No, that's that one. Okay. And we are basically ready for the takeoff. But no, we are not, because I need to program that darn GTN again. Now that is a bit of a pain here. Let me see. Maybe I can do something here about that. Settings. Let's see. Master device, connect, blah blah, and so on. Use blah de blah, advanced settings. See if we can make it independent of avionics power source, always on, because this is a pain in the back. Okay, let's accept this. Hopefully that'll be the last time I have to enter all this. I should have maybe saved the flight plan. Yeah. Too late now. Let's do it again. And if at first you don't succeed, tra-la-la-la-la. Anchor 9 Quebec. Load departure. Akini. I hope that did the trick now with this always on thing. Akini, Ostes. And then Echo Delta Delta Mike. Load procedure. Bamta for Alpha. For runway 08. Load. Daga daga daga. Log procedure. ILS 08 left. Vectors. Via Mike. Load the approach. Don't activate it. Otherwise you start again. And done. Alright. You know what? Store. No, that's not. No, that's not it. Catalog. Nope. Can I save this? VNAV, power track, delete, invert temperature, edit fields, preview, catalog. Import, delete. No. Doesn't look like I can save the flight plan. VNAV paratrack store, delete, invert temperature. So what is in store already exists, flight saved is... Ah, it has stored it. Weird. Okay, it's stored. Heh. Right. Okay. Good. Continue we do. Where was I? Lights are on, strobes are on. Parking brake off. I got the flaps in position 1, yes. So, if you use the GTN, put it on always on. I think that should fix the problem. Because there seem to be intermittent interruptions in the power supply. And that causes, by the way, also the normal GPS of X-Plane to turn itself off and on. But it doesn't lose the flight plan. Unlike the GTN. Okay, I think I've got it now. Have I? Well then. Let's move the throttles forward. I move it usually to that position. I'm not sure if I should put it full, but it looks like a good one where all the things stay in the green. I guess if we have a shorter runway, we'll probably use a bit more. And in and around 100, I actually start pulling on the yoke. Okay. Positive, right. And you have to trim. You have to trim. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Gear up. So, I'm trimming up at the moment. And then I'm going to use IAS mode and I'm going to switch to nav. And we need to make sure that we are on GPS. Oops. And then you have to hold it for 3 seconds and then activate the autopilot. Yeah, you need switches for that because it is a bit awkward to reach these in the simulator. So, see, I'm trying to keep now this initial speed. Yeah, seems to be fine. So I'm now going to switch into vertical speed mode and I am reducing by using the... I don't have my hardware, so I have to use the pitch trim. No, that was not it. That was pitch trim. That was wrong. I wanted to use the vertical. I used the wrong one. Let me see what is what here. Heading, course, pitch, standby, roll, yaw. Where do I change the vertical speed? I forgot actually. Oh no, here. Yeah, this is the one. The problem is, yeah, 1700. If you do this, you cannot see what you actually... It's a bit awkward. in this aircraft. Yeah, because this is the only place where you can see what your vertical speed is like, the one that you command. And in order to change it, you need to use this knob. So definitely you need hardware or some commands to be defined, because otherwise it gets very awkward. But then again, so we're following the route nicely. In case you wonder, this is an auto scenery, and here is the standard. I have only one square, one tile that I did. The rest is a default X-plane. So around Munich I have a high resolution auto tile. 10,000. Okay, let's see. Gears and flaps are up. Ice protection not required. Auto Corsair can be turned off. External lights, they are set. Cabin signs off. Air conditioning is still set. The takeoff inhibitor is off. The cabin pressure is, yeah, looks good. Prop sync on. CTOT off. And the altimeters, there are 29902 anyway, but we have standard atmosphere, so that is always correct on this flight. Descent checklist would be next. Right, the heading is down here, so yeah, it's not the most practical. Maybe get this view a bit differently. Yeah, let's do it like that. So we're a little bit slow, I would think. What happens if I put it into max? So let me see, have we got brought? No, we haven't brought up the flaps. That's the reason. $1,250. It's not really climbing with this 1700 feet per minute, and it has kind of got slow. So I guess, so what is this here? Why do we have a ice protection? Oh, yeah. Standby pitot needs to be turned on. Okay. Not only is it awkward to use, but also it jumps in steps. I can't believe that. No, 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 don't go down. No. Don't go down. Uh-oh. Oh no, come on. Uh-oh. No, this is not working. Uh-oh. So let's put EIS, and now I provide some power. Maybe that is a bit more stable. The vertical speed mode seems to have difficulties. What happens if I increase the speed, let's say to 200? Okay, it takes down the nose. Will it stop at 0? I was afraid of that. Okay. Okay, since I know how the GTN behaves on the Bamta corner, we're not going to fly to Bamta. We're going to cut this short because it is a slow airplane. Yeah, it will fly okay. It will not go fly to Bamta. It will actually turn, but the thing is the GTN properly calculates the turn here, so no point testing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly a little bit on, and then when we are at TUSTO, I'm going to go direct TUSTO. We shorten that thing a bit. So 1000. Now there isn't any VNAV or so with this aircraft, so you need to really calculate your top of descent yourself. So when we are turning to TUSTO, which we're supposed to be at 15,000 or flight 150 at TUSTO, and then we need to be 5,000 at the initial approach fix. So I think there is under utilities, there is a VNAV and active VNAV constraint 5,000 or above, but that's actually not what we need. What I need is so we're so if we want to be at 5,000 at Mike, I guess we would have to start already descending or something. Default FPA 3 degrees, okay. Time to top of descent. Yeah, 4 minutes. So we are almost at TUSTO. So what we're going to do now is I'm going TUSTO, and then I say activate leg. Okay. That should make us turn. Okay. Okay, we have almost reached TUSTO, so we should be switching to the next waypoint any moment. Yep, now we're going towards Landu. And now let's see what it says here. Top time to bottom of descent 11 minutes, so we're supposed to descend now with about 600 feet per minute. So I'm going to try again, or let's say indicated airspeed, and I'm going to take back the power now and see if I can have kind of a 500 feet per minute descent. So wait a quick moment that it stabilizes on something. Yeah, that's okay, because it calculated for mic, but we do not need to be at 5000 at mic. So I'll stick below 600, which brings us a bit further to our initial approach fix where we really need to be at 5000. See how that works out. Alright. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can leave it like that. Okay, let's go through the descent checklist. The briefing is complete. Yeah, we know our approach. Ice protection is not required. The cabin pressure is set. That's fine. Flight instruments, radios, and so on. So 109.5. We have 080 on the course. We checked that already, and yeah, we should be fine. And the bugs CTOT set. Yeah, the bugs and CTOT are set. So next is then the approach checklist. Yeah, it is a nice aircraft. Oh, why have we stopped? What is going on? Why are we not descending? Oh, no, there's something. Something is not right. Okay. Well then. Oh, this is awkward. Awkward. So, and you know that there's a little, very tiny, itsy bitsy arrow, which tells you that we are descending. If I can't read that from where I sit. So I actually was wrong when I did the vertical speed before. So I now need to reduce the power. Yeah, since we have stopped descending, I'm going to descend a little bit more now. Whoa. Why are we dropping that much? That doesn't make sense. Why are we that high? What is going on? What is it doing? Is that the CTOT stuff? Let's turn that off. Maybe that's the CTOT stuff. So, how much are we descending now? Yeah, that could be the CTOT. We leave that off until we are closer to the approach. Yeah, we're a little bit high. We're getting closer to Mike, and we are above 10,000. That is unfortunately a tiny wee bit too high. So let's go down a bit faster. We need to speed the descent up. Yeah, it's not the kind of aircraft that's highly automized and all that. That's why you need to do a lot of the things yourself. You need to watch out. You need to watch out that it does what you need it to do. And if it doesn't, then you need to intervene and make it do what you want it to do. It's as simple as that. It's not fully automatic. It's no Airbus. 10,000. At the moment the frames are 34, so a bit higher than in Munich. Okay, I mean short final design is quite a demanding airport. So MAGAT we need to be at 5,000, but I think we're going to make it. So we're getting closer to the bottom of descent, 5,000. I think that'll be fine. So, yeah, extremely difficult to get the heading right. Yeah. Because this isn't really helpful here. So we're now turning onto MAGAT. I'm going to activate heading mode quickly, then I switch the CDI, and then we're going for the approach mode. We're at 5,000. We made it. On the dot, almost. Okay, it has switched to VLOC mode, that's good. So I'm now activating the approach mode. And we have captured the glide slope. We're starting to come down now. So I'm taking back the power in order to slowly but surely reduce the speed. Altimeter is already set. The external lights, landing lights are on. Cabin signs are on. And the HP valves are set into automatic. Next is the landing checklist. Let's see. I'm going. You see, I'm now in flight idle. So the auto caution, we need to turn it on again. Landing signal is given. Gear down 3 green, not yet. Hydraulics is checked. The prop sync is off, I think. No, it needs to come off. The condition lever in the max position. Flaps first position now. The ice boots yaw damper off. Okay. So we're, is that 12 miles or no, it's not. It's you can hardly read this here. We're 5 miles DME. Gear down. And flaps full. So, yeah, gears down, flaps. Next is the after landing checklist. Actually, where do we put the decision height? It's probably this one here. Oh, come on. Yeah, forget it. Autopilot off. I think you need to press that button twice for it to stop. Yeah, it's it behaves very docile. You need to actually move quite a bit on the controls, so there's no overreacting like I know it from other aircraft. Deep landing my arse. Oh, ooh, that was not too good yet. Going into beta mode. Well, it doesn't really show beta. Should it not show this? Hard landing. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. First one in a long time. Okay, let's stop here for the moment. Landing light on, taxi off, strobes off, flaps in, transponder, standby. So gust lock on. You need to program yourself something that keeps this little lock here, and then you can move this. Well, if you happen to find out what you have to do, you move it there, then you turn the lock on again. Okay. So then the ice protection is off. The autocorson needs to come off. The external lights, landing lights, taxi is on. Okay. The HP valves need to be closed now. The differential pressure checked, yeah, it's okay. Flaps are up and the radar and transponder is on standby. Yes, next checklist is the parking checklist. It didn't really show the beta here, although it did go into reverse, but I didn't see these lights coming on. I thought they should come on, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Frames down to 25 here in Munich. No surprise now with these settings and the complexity of this airport. Yeah, it takes some time to get used to how it turns, you know, when you have to start. Right. Not that I can really read this thing there, but I think we still need to go forward a little bit, but we should be stop. Okay. Park brake. Set. Okay. So the parking brake is set, the engine anti-ice is off. I'm turning. Oh, yeah. Okay. The avionics, yeah, it is set. Generators set. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to set for parking. Okay, let's bring these down into the minimum, then into the. Okay, and I'm first turning off the thing on the side, and then I very quickly, unfortunately I haven't yet found a key for that, go to ground support, activate the GPU, turn it on, and then turn off the second. So, generators are off, external power is on. The seat belts can now turn off. Air conditioning. Yeah, I don't know what I have to do there. Emergency lights. ELT off. These here. Off. Oxygen off. Batteries on, off. Dome light off, yeah. And next one would be the... Okay, so we're done. Right. So welcome in Munich. Now I'm going to try and open those doors again. See if that works. With these 2 steps for the back and 6 steps for the front. It will take some time before that door opens. I hope it does. Yup. You need to open the seat before you can slide out the stairs, and then it can fold out, and then we're done. And everybody can get off. Well, actually, cargo does get off. Right. That's it. The leading edge simulation SAP 340 Cargo version. Version 1.5.1, the latest and greatest of this aircraft, still working fine. So I'm quite happy with that. That was a decent and nice try and fly. The landing was a bit harsh, yes, I know, but there you go. You need to train and get familiar, and flying so many aircraft as I do, it's always hard to remember what you need to do for each and every aircraft. This only comes when you fly something more often and get used to it. But I really like this SAP. It's a really nice, really nice aircraft, and for me it works perfectly. Yeah. I was thinking of should I get the Coronado version because there's a sale on at the moment, but to be honest, no. I'm not going to spend money on the Coronado when I have this here. So that'll be fine, and it'll be doing me for the next foreseeable future. I hope in 1150 it will work too. Thank you for watching, and until next time. Bye.